Good afternoon, everyone. Before we commence, may I request everyone to settle down and switch their phones to silent mode. Please rise for the national anthem. Jai Hind. Before we proceed with today's event, we have an important announcement. VIKRANT has informed us in advance to avoid taking individual photographs or selfies. We kindly request all members to please remain seated and refrain from coming forward at the conclusion of the event. In the event he agrees last minute, we would gladly announce the same. We appreciate your understanding and cooperation in helping us maintain the dignity and decorum of our organization. And now, a very warm welcome to everyone present here today. I would invite Business League Head, Ms. Rekha Keemti, to take the Business League session forward.
A very happy afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all the inspiring women present here today. I am Rekha Keemti, EC Head of the Business League. At FLOW, our mission is to uplift and empower women in the business world, creating not just economic opportunities, but a legacy of inspiration for generations to come. Today, we are privileged to hear from a group of outstanding entrepreneurs who exemplify vision, resilience, and determination. It is my honor to introduce them. Ananda, author of Green Allegiance and The Secret of the Poison Garden, a best-selling botanical mystery novel for young adults. Yashoda, founder of Flavor Stories that specializes in curating flavors for every occasion. Preeti, founder of Cicero's International Makeup and Cosmetology Academy. Please join me in welcoming these dynamic business leaders to the stage.
Good afternoon. I'm Ananda Tumrugoti, and I'm delighted and honored to be in a room full of accomplished women with powerful stories about their own journeys. Today, I want to share one such story of a young lady who is a protagonist, the hero of my novel, Green Allegiance and the Secret of the Poison Garden. It's a young adult mystery novel set in a world where plants are not passive or decorative. They are powerful, they heal, they poison, and they hold secrets. The ones who make us realize that the deadliest things in nature are often the most beautiful. So you can see that the novel was launched at the Hyderabad Literary Festival. So why this book, why now? The premise is that we are surrounded by stories about imaginary worlds. But one of the most extraordinary worlds, the plant kingdom, has been pushed into textbooks and forgotten. This book brings it back through mystery and adventure, not as a science, not as instruction, but as a compelling story. At its center is Durga, curious, observant, and unwilling to look away when something feels wrong. And many of us in this room recognize that instinct. This book has connected strongly with young readers, but its impact has gone far beyond that. I have adults who have thoroughly enjoyed the book. It's a story about asking questions, about moral courage. The book is now available across leading bookstores and online platforms in India and internationally in 12 countries, including Germany, parts of Europe and Asia. What has mattered most to me are the conversations it has sparked. Children asking questions, parents reading along with them, teachers recommending it. So I will end it with a simple ask. I invite you to read it, gift it, recommend it, and share it within your own circles. As women who influence conversations and choices, I would love for Green Allegiance and the Secret of the Poison Garden to pass through your hands to the next generation of curious minds, fostering a love for the natural world. So what do Durga and her friends realize through their adventurous, mysterious quest? That the most dangerous secrets are not hidden in shadows, but are growing silently in plain sight. Read the book to find out more. Video, please.
Thank you. I'm Yashoda Agarwal, founder of Flavor Stories. Good morning, everyone. Let me start with a simple question. How many of us love variety of food, but panic the moment our kids or even we ourselves reach out for junk? French fries again, packed snacks again. What if I told you that variety and health can sit beautifully on the same plate? That's exactly where Flavor Stories was born. At Flavor Stories, we don't just make food, we create experiences with flavor while keeping them pure vegetarian, thoughtfully prepared and guilt-free. We create variety of items out of which these are my specialty: Korean buns, focaccia, dumplings, paneer envelopes, sushi, burrito ball, and the all-time favorite, vada pav, but with a twist. We also create beautiful platters, cheese platter, chocolate platter, and desserts like brownies, tiramisu, and New York cheesecake. We have executed 500 kgs chocolate order in 7 days. But there was truly set Flavor Stories apart. That's its customization. Every platter, every box, every bite is designed around your needs. A picnic, we plan food that travels well. A birthday or anniversary, we curate flavors and packaging to match the celebrations. Travel food, mess-free, nutritious, and delicious. Because food should fit into your life, not complicate it. We truly believe we are solving a big problem of today's mom, who wants their children to enjoy exciting food without living on junk. With Flavor Stories, variety doesn't mean unhealthy. It means smart choices wrapped in a good taste. We also supply to caterers, offering consistent quality and innovative vegetarian options that elevate their menus. We are currently looking to collaborate with wellness center, kitty party planners, and those hosting birthday or intimate celebrations. We can supply customized wholesome menus that stands out. Food that looks different, tastes amazing, and leaves a lasting impression on guests. Because food isn't just about eating. It's about memories, stories, and moments shared. And that's the story we invite you to be a part of. Thank you.
Hi, all the beautiful women here. I do not want to address the glitch. It's okay, we can still go ahead. I am Dr. Preeti, a dentist and a cosmetologist by profession, and I am the crown winner of Mrs. India and Mrs. Telangana crown winner. Thank you so much. Yeah, but with this crown came in a lot of responsibilities and lot of questions from a lot of women from different walks of life. My husband is settled, my kids are busy, but I want to do something for myself. It is not the lack of money, but it was a quest for financial independence, and a lot of freedom and self-respect. So, with all this, I'm moving forward. So I'm going to talk about 3 things today as to how I thought I can make a difference with what I own. So I'm also a faculty at NIFT. Yes. And there I embarked on this vision of empowering 1 lakh women. By 2020, I want to do this. But how? How am I going to do these big numbers? So right now we are already at 6541 and still counting. So the 3 things that I was talking about, the first one is I own the luxury salon brands of Dessange and Kemi Alban. They are from Paris, and we have our franchisee salons already in the cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, and still counting. And these are a few celebs who have come to our salons. And yes, why choose this brand? Because it's a globally established luxury brand which is present and attract a premium loyal clientele. And it also comes with an end-to-end international training system, operations and marketing support. Therefore, it is not just owning your salon, but it is a luxury business asset. And the second and the most favorite of mine. So I also run, being a doctor, and I also run a training academy for makeup and cosmetology, where we have international trainers on board, and our training starts between 15,000, it goes up to 3 lakh. And these girls who have done our training start earning between 15,000 to 1 lakh within 3 months of their training. And here we not just treat them and coach them on makeup, but also we teach them digital marketing, personal branding, client consultation, and also help them with their loan facilities. And our certificates are globally valid, that most of my students are working in countries like Maldives, Dubai, and so on. This is an interesting story of my student called Lokeshwari, who was sponsored by one of the people like you. By just paying 40,000, they changed the fate of this girl, who was just earning 30 to 50 rupees per day by assisting in a fried rice shop. And looking at the Instagram post, she came to us, and now she is a makeup artist certified who's already got a job of 20,000 per month. So this is my ask for today. So anybody of you who want to change the life of one girl, you can just sponsor by paying her 50% of the fees, because the 50% I am taking care of it, and the 40,000 you will get in return as premium services in your weddings, in your family parties, for your hair and makeup services. That is how I wanted it to be a token of gratitude. And yes, we also do a lot of elite bridal and party makeup services in our salons. And this is the upcoming season. We are specialized, and our trainers and makeup artists are specialized in the no makeup look, which is actually the most difficult look. So with this, I come to the end of this presentation. So my 1 lakh dream is going to be fulfilled by either giving an opportunity for the women to start her own business, or to have her own career, or if you are a makeup artist, or if you know someone, I'm more than happy to welcome and collaborate with them to work in my salons and collaborate with me. Thank you so much for all your patience. Thank you so much.
A heartfelt thank you to our incredible speakers for sharing their inspiring journey. As Serena Williams once said, every woman's success should be an inspiration to another. We are strongest when we cheer each other on. At Flow Business League, we are committed to creating a community where women empower women, lifting each other towards greater achievements. If you're looking to showcase and grow your business, please do connect with the Business League team. Let's build, uplift, and thrive together. Thank you. And we do have a Business League table next to the registration desk where the cards are placed and the book is also placed. So please have a look and pick the cards. Thank you.
Thank you, Business League team. It's so amazing to know the unique businesses that all our members have. And that's the power of Flow. While we wait for Vikrant to join us, we have a few important announcements. Can I request the chairperson to please come up?
A very good afternoon to everyone and a happy new year. As we wait for Mr. Vikrant, I thought we should start our announcements first. So, the entire team is here. So let's start with our announcements of what has happened in the last couple of months in Hyderabad, at Flow Hyderabad. So firstly, I'd like to start with all of you, a very, very important announcement first is I urge each one of you to actively join and remain part of our official Flow WhatsApp community. If you're not following, please make sure you follow and do not exit this community because all our official communication, updates and announcements will be shared exclusively through this platform only firstly. So just make sure you follow this community. In November, we had the privilege of hosting impactful learning sessions with Ms. Kirtika Reddy and CA Rachna Ranade, which offered valuable insights on growing with AI and financial literacy respectively. We have successfully completed an impactful 4-session sales cohort for our members, focused on deep learning, hands-on engagement, designed for real-world application. We recently visited the Kia Anantapur plant, a leader in automation and robotics with a world-class setup car-making industry, producing vehicles with eco-friendly practices. This was followed by a cultural visit to the historic Lepakshi temple, giving our members a unique blend of industry insight and heritage appreciation. Through our initiatives, She Learns and Skill Her, we continue to create meaningful impact in skilling. At the grassroots levels, we have provided vocational training in multiple courses, digital and communication skills. We have also started working in collaboration with Women and Child Welfare Department in the Polytechnic College with orphans and semi-orphans in digital literacy and life skills and many other courses. I am immensely proud and happy to share that we have reached over 5,000 beneficiaries till date in this year. We are still continuing, and I sincerely appreciate both the teams for their consistent and commendable works. There are some wonderful success stories from these sessions, ladies, and we shall soon be sharing them on social media pages, so do follow us on Instagram. This festive season, as part of our outreach drive, Flow Hyderabad distributed uniforms and sanitary pads to the needy. It was a humbling and much cherished honor for Flow Hyderabad to meet the Honorable President of India, Ms. Draupadi Murmu, a moment of recognition for the work of the chapter. On January 3rd, we conducted a women's health camp at Flow Skill Center. Bongir provided 12,000 consultations with diagnostic tests and distributed free medicines to all participants. We are proud to share that 3 batches of Flow Women Directors have been successfully completed. Heartiest congratulations to all Flow Hyderabad participants. We have fulfilled Dokra sales through bulk orders, positively impacting over 50 families of Dokra in 5 villages. We have achieved great sale numbers, and we are soon to submit our white paper policy on our Dokra revival to the ITDA. As you are aware, we have launched Flow Kavach this year, covering both legal and health verticals. Our legal experts will provide confidential counseling, explain your legal options, and guide you to the best course of action. For Kavach Health, members can avail personalized AI consultations. Simply scan the QR code at the entrance. And also, we will be broadcasting this info for your convenience. This year, Style Tattva was powered by MSME for the first time, and we are happy to share that vendors have already begun receiving their MSME refunds. It's wonderful to see real support translating into real impact for our vendor community. We will be celebrating our graduation day along with certificate distribution on Jan 10th, marking the successful completion of this year's skilling and learning sessions at the Skill Center. And coming up next, watch out for the following dates and ensure you mark your calendars. On Jan 26th, we are going to have our flag hoisting at Flow Pylon near KBR with a unique gamifying session. Look up for it and block your dates. And ladies, March 14th is the culmination of everything we've built together over the past year. This truly deserves a grand celebration for all of us. So block your calendars for the gala event. Attend with your partners and be present for a night that truly defines our journey. Everything you witnessed today is the proof of one single truth. When women come together, grow together, and stand together, there is nothing we cannot build. This is the spirit of flow, and this is how real transformation begins. And thank you for this, and I think our guest has already arrived, so I think we can just start with our...
Let's all put our hands together as our guest VIKRANT MASSEY joins us. Welcome to Flow Hyderabad. You don't always have to be the sun lighting up the whole sky. Sometimes it is enough to be the small lamp that refuses to go out and lights up its own street. Today's guest has never chased blinding stardom. Instead, like that steady little lamp, VIKRANT has kept showing up, role after role, quietly lighting up every story he enters and every heart he reaches. Namaste. On behalf of Flow Hyderabad Chairperson Pratibha Kunda and her committee, I, Rashi Agarwal, Executive Secretary of Flow Hyderabad, extend a warm welcome to our speaker, our distinguished past chairs, media persons, and fellow Flow members. As women who build businesses, communities, and change, we are naturally drawn to stories of grit, second chances, and starting from zero. Today, we are joined by someone whose journey from television to becoming one of Hindi cinema's most respected actors, through performances like 12th Fail and many others, has inspired millions. VIKRANT MASSEY is not just an actor we watch. He's a reminder that talent, discipline, and quiet determination can truly rewrite any script. I request Flow Hyderabad Chairperson Pratibha Kunda, Flow past chairs Ms. Hina Srivastav, Ms. Manjula Reddy, Ms. Rekha Reddy, Ms. Sona Chatwani, Ms. Usha Rani Manne, and Ms. Priya Gazdar to please join us for lamp lighting. Also, YFlow past chair, Ms. Aarti Shah. I now invite the chairperson to deliver her welcome address.
So we just finished our announcements. Now I would like to welcome Mr. VIKRANT. As we enter the new year and the fourth quarter, there's a lot in store for us all, and today being one of those. I was thinking about how to introduce Mr. VIKRANT today. And honestly, it's not easy to do without sounding either dramatic or predictable. So I decided not to try too hard. Most of us here didn't discover Mr. VIKRANT MASSEY overnight. We noticed him over time. One performance led to another, and suddenly you realize he's everywhere, which is refreshing because it means you notice the work before you notice the person. That, I think, is his quiet superpower. In an industry known for noise, he chose consistency. While trends changed and algorithms chased attention, he stayed focused on the work. And that takes a kind of courage we don't talk about often. The courage to wait, to improve, and to trust your own pace. What makes this especially relevant for us, this room, is that many women here are doing exactly that. Building careers, businesses, and lives without shortcuts, without guarantees, and often without applause in the early years. Today is all about perspective, about how to stay steady in a fast-moving world, how to keep your values intact, and how to grow without losing yourself along the way. So let's look forward to hearing from someone who has built a career with depth, patience, and fearless choices. Proof that steady focus always leaves its mark. Before we begin our much anticipated session, I just finished our announcement, so I think we can just continue with the flow.
May I request Mr. Vikrant to please join our chairperson on the dais and for the chairperson to felicitate him. A brief introduction of Vikrant's journey. He is one of Indian cinema's most compelling and versatile actors, known for his nuanced performances and powerful screen presence. He began his journey in 2003 as a trained dancer with Shamak Davar's troupe and made his television debut in 2007 with shows like Dhoom Machao Dhoom, gaining wider recognition through Balika Vadhu. He soon transitioned seamlessly into films from 2013, leaving an indelible mark through critically acclaimed roles in Lutera, A Death in the Ganj, Chapak, Cargo, Haseen Dilruba, and 12th Fail. When Vikrant started out on television, he wasn't walking into big vanity vans. He often walked onto cramped sets after long local train rides, clutching a tiffin from home. He's often joked that no one quite saw a future film star, just a sincere middle-class boy who did his work and went home. But that ordinary boy kept showing up year after year until the industry that once thought he was too simple started calling him for the most complex roles. He transitioned from TV to OTT platforms and mainstream cinema, becoming a respected outsider star for his impactful performances between 2018 and 2021. With depth, authenticity, and fearless choices, Vikrant has pushed the boundaries of storytelling, earning both critical acclaim and audience admiration. A quiet force in Indian cinema and a national award winner now for Best Actor in 2023. He stands as a testament to talent, resilience, and the transformative power of sincere storytelling. Thank you for joining us today. And finally, the moment that we've all been waiting for, I hand over to our chairperson and our guest speaker.
Thank you, Rashi. So welcome to Flow. Welcome to Flow, Hyderabad.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here, Pratibhaji. And thank you so much, everyone, for having me here. And thank you for all the kind words. As I was just telling you, sometimes I'm very bad at sort of when someone compliments me or when someone tells me, I don't know if I get shy or if I get weird, but I am really, really thankful to you for all the generosity you've shown so far. So thank you for having me here. Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome to Flow, Hyderabad. And this is our new year, and you're the first guest here on this new year. So we are all...
And wish you all a very happy new year, guys. Yeah. And as ma'am said, this is the last quarter. I'm sure, there are a lot of challenges that you guys will be facing. So wish you all the best for that also. But वो सब चलता रहेगा. नया साल अभी शुरू हुआ है. I think 2 हफ्ते तो enjoy कर ही सकते हैं.
Yeah. So shall we start?
Yes, please.
Yes. So you had a very highly successful television career in your 20s itself, right? Very early you started off. A phase where most people would choose security and comfort. You Yet you chose to walk away from that and enter a cinema field, an industry that demands immense support, resilience, and willingness to start from zero again. So, what was the mindset behind that decision for you? And what made you dare to choose uncertainty over stability?
Wow. Honestly, Pratibhaji, you know, all these things, when you're right in the thick of it, when you're about to make that transition, when you're about to take that leap, you don't really think a lot. The only thing that you probably pay attention to is the voice within. And all of us have that voice within. I just listened to that, but with the advantage of hindsight, I mean, this decision was taken nearly 12, 13 years ago. So with the advantage of hindsight, I think I can say that I kind of backed myself, if I can say so. Because when I was doing television, I did nearly, and you're right, I did nearly a decade of television. I started off really, really young. I started off at 16. And as most of you know, no 16-year-old boy actually wants to step out of the house and work. There were certain conditions which wanted me to step out, support myself and my family. But when I decided to take that leap, or when I wanted to give myself a fair chance in movies, I didn't think much. I just felt that, you know what, at the cost of sounding slightly pompous, I felt that I deserved it. And that's when it was not that I wanted, it is not something that I wanted, I just felt that this is something that I deserve and I should give myself that fair chance. And that's what I did. And like you said, it was not an overnight success. Yes, we all, and I come from a very regular middle class family. Money was the reason why I stepped out of home, to support my own education, to support my family. And so I'll just sort of share another thing with you. Middle class, Hindi, English, both is good for you guys, right?
We're good too.
So middle class घर में लोगों का, and especially मम्मियों का जो होता है, वो ये रहता है कि बच्चे settle हो जाएं, right? और settle हो जाएं, उनका ये होता है कि अपना घर खरीद लें और शादी कर लें, ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद वो 4 धाम की यात्रा पे निकल जाएंगे. That was her biggest wish. So when I started off at 16, that was my biggest aspiration, to firstly support my education, support my family, and have one house. So that my mom, she can, you know, rest peacefully saying कि चलो ठीक है बेटे ने घर खरीद लिया. So when I bought my first house at the age of 24, I went up to my mother and I told her, you know, you always wanted me, both your sons to have their own home. I've done that. Now can I do this? Can I give myself a fair chance at television? And I didn't have to ask her permission. That thing was always at the back of my head, and I bought my first small, 500 square feet, 1-bedroom flat in Mumbai, and I told her that I want to give myself a fair chance at movies. And the first reaction was, "Tu pagal hai?" Because I was doing decently well, and I said, no, I think I deserve that chance, and that's the reason I took that leap of faith, because I felt I deserved it. And also, today, almost 21 years in the profession, I feel that, and that's what I feel. I feel that money, it's very important, I completely disagree with people who say that money does not give you happiness. I think, if not directly, indirectly, money does give you happiness. Money gives you the confidence, and that confidence eventually gives you happiness. So it is somewhat related, but I was not feeling entirely utilized in television, Pratibhaji, because the kind of work that was happening in television at that time, I was lucky. I did Balika Vadhu, I did, Baba Aisa Dhundo. These were wonderful path-breaking shows which people still talk about. But I was not happy with my own output. I felt I could do more. I was almost sleepwalking. And lastly, as I said, when the voice within is strong enough, you end up backing yourself. And here I am, in front of you guys.
Yeah.
I think Balika Vadhu was a very big sensation those days. I think everyone would watch that series.
Yeah, yes.
And then from there you sit into the movies without any backing, without any support. You just started off. So coming from outside the film industry, what unspoken rules did you have to learn the hard way? And what mindset shift helped you navigate them without losing confidence as an outsider from your early years? Like you were always a star here. From there you had to start from small roles again and then come up, right? So how did you find, I mean, what kind of things?
Yeah, there were a lot of challenges actually. And sadly, when I came into the world of cinema, there was this unfortunate preconceived notion about television actors. They had this preconceived notion that television actors can't act. That was the first sting, or that was the first jab which I took, on my chin. And I felt that I don't think these guys know about Naseeruddin Shah, or even the Shah Rukh Khan they talk about has come from television, right? Irfan Khan, Naseeruddin Shah, Om Puri, some of the greatest stalwarts in the world of acting, performance, purely performance, they come from television, and that kind of stung me. And besides that, there are so many things, all of us are maneuvering day in, day out. But one thing that I always sort of felt very strongly, and which I still continue to hold on to, is yes, and as you said, with trends coming in every fortnight, in fact, not even monthly, every fortnight there are new trends. Now you have social media. Back then, when I started off in movies in 2012-13, there was no social media as such. It had just kind of started out, and there was not a lot of reliance on social media to sort of, project yourself a certain way or create an image. I have always felt that what I do in front of the camera, between action and cut, is what matters the most. Because primarily I'm an actor. I'm a storyteller. Actors are also storytellers. And I wanted to sort of just go out there and tell a good story which is going to be worth your time. And as time moved forward, when social media came in, when, public relations came in, I did try a bit of that as well. I concede to the fact that I tried and I failed horribly because it was not something that came from within. It was not something that came very naturally to me. I did try. I'm not a very social person. I don't party a lot. I don't. ये जो एक preconceived notion ये भी है कि काम आपको पार्टियों में मिलता है, ऐसा नहीं है. जबकि जब आप उस उम्र में होते हैं तब आपको लगता है and you believe in it. But to be very honest, what you do in front of the camera is what matters. And today, with 21 years of experience, I can very honestly say that most of the men and women and people you see who are sitting at a certain stature, it's because of the quality of work and their dedication. It's not because of their personal relationships. It's not because of these parties which people think कि पार्टियों में काम मिलता है. So I stuck to that. I always felt what I do in front of the camera will hold true, and I still continue to believe that. Yeah.
Your work speaks for you. You don't have to do any shortcuts here and there.
I hope.
So you're often described as a director's safe pair of hands. So what habits or behaviors do you believe make someone truly dependable in any profession? Like how you said, I believe in the work that I do. What other things do you think
I think irrespective of your profession, wherever you come from or whatever you do, I think quality is something which everyone aspires to have, right? And yeah, I mean, today we are living in an age of social media. We're living in the age of digitization. As I said, every fortnight there is something new that comes up. By the time you adapt to a so-called trend, that trend becomes redundant. And there is something new that you have to adapt to. But if your core values are intact, like any building, or any monument you're talking about, the stronger your foundation, the longer it can last. And in my case, It is, as I said, what I do in front of the camera. It is the people I represent, the characters that I play. And yeah, so irrespective of where you come from, I think if you're, and to each their own, Pratibhaji, there's no right or wrong here. There are so many people who really want to, go in, do the quickie and come out and make a lot of money and become famous. But there are also a lot of people, I'm sure there are hundreds of people here, especially in the organization. This is my third time at FICCI actually, but first time in Hyderabad. I've met a lot of people who are in for the slow burn, if I can use that word, who want to sort of leave behind something. And there are also people who are wise enough to know that either success or failure, everything is very, very transient. Nobody is going to take all the accolades, all the money, all the jewelry, all the fame with them, right? It's not something that all of us are listening to for the first time. Our elders, our grandparents, our parents, our friends, everyone who's wished the best for us have always advised us on this. But somewhere along the way, we tend to forget this. So this is one value that I try holding on to. And I also concede that there are moments when I sometimes just forget about this old age, wisdom. But there are moments, and life is beautiful in so many ways. The moment you forget the most valuable thing, it immediately strikes you down with something that takes you back to your roots. And I think holding on to your roots is extremely, extremely important. And yeah, so whatever you do, wherever you come from, I think holding on to your roots, to your value system, and the idea to leave behind something, to empower people. I can also very proudly say that when I won the national award for 12th fail, a lot of people told me, thank you for 12th fail. And initially I was a little surprised. I'm like, why are they thanking me? And when I met a lot more people who said the same thing, is when I realized that, cinema has always had the power to inspire and inform and sort of motivate people. It has an incredible reach. I was in Mussoorie at Labasna. I'm sure a lot of people know about Labasna, at the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, where all the officer trainees are taught before they, get into services. There were nearly 330 odd officer trainees there. And I was so touched by the fact that at least 30 people I had met out of those 330 people took up the civil services because of 12th fail. Oh. And that was the impact the film had.
Yeah, that was, I think, one of the...
And yeah, so sometimes you go back home, you can sleep peacefully, you're proud of yourself, you've made a good film, but also at the same time you've left behind something which is going to take that thing forward.
Yeah, I think that was such a sensational movie and inspired a lot of people in that field. And what are your non-negotiables when you're at work, like?
Non-negotiables.
For your daily routines, your workplace and your daily routines, what are your non-negotiables that I will never...
Currently, I think they keep evolving with time. Am I right? I think, but yes, certain core values remain the same. The most important non-negotiable for me at work today is an uncompromising attitude. Because unfortunately, you also end up, collaborating with people you sort of don't really fit well with. And those experiences are also very important for you to value the good ones, right? The day you have someone who's a mismatch to your DNA is when you realize, oh my God, this is what I should not be doing. So many people know what to do, but it's also important to know what not to do. Uncompromising attitude. Now, when I say uncompromising attitude, it's about the intent, actually. The intent is the most important thing. There are so many people who want to sort of go out there and especially after 12th fail and Mirzapur, I did this show called Mirzapur for Amazon. It's a very popular show. So, for example, when I met people after Mirzapur, they would reach out to me with bagloads of money and they would say, let us make something like Mirzapur, bahut hit hoga. You know, and that was the first thing they would say, and probably the last thing, because I would not listen to them after that. They would not want to go out there and tell a good story. Their intent was sort of maligned right from the word go, because they wanted to sort of make something popular and not make something good. You know, there's a very thin line. The idea is to have something which is quality and not just popular. Popular, great. You know, the more people watch you, it's great. It's great for us, for the business also. But you really can't go out there thinking कि यार ये viral होगा, जो आज word चल रहा है viral, इसको viral बनाते हैं, इसको famous करते हैं. I think if your product or if your intent is at the right place, if you're honest and sincere with your work, it will find its takers, no matter which part of the world you are in. I was in China for the Shanghai International Film Festival. There were 2 scheduled screenings for 12th Fail. They were packed, so the organizers had to increase the shows to 4 shows. And that film was not dubbed, Pratibhaji. That film was in Hindi, the way it was, but the subtitles were in Mandarin. And those packed halls gave me an indication of the power of universality, you know, the common backgrounds we share, the common life stories we share, the common ambitions we all share. All of them were weeping at the right place at the right time just by reading the subtitles and not even understanding what the word was spoken. So, intent. And and in personal life, my non-negotiable is my weekly off at the moment. You know, I want to take that 7th day off after 6 days of work. I want to go back home. I have a young 2-year-old boy now, and they grow up really fast. You know, जब तक आपके अपने नहीं होते हैं आपको पता नहीं होता है. They actually grow up really, really fast. So that is one non-negotiable. And I mean, most importantly, and I think another non-negotiable is, not expose my family to the world of media. You know, that is a complete non-negotiable for me. There are so many people out there who want to come home and meet my wife and my family and my parents and, you know, see what cars I drive or how big my house is. I don't allow that, because that is a very, very precious, very sacred place for me, which is my house. So, so I keep my work and my personal life very separate.
You keep it separate.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what my next thing was. In this age of social media, where everyone is obsessed with visibility, both in business and personal life, you chose to make sure your business life and your personal life are, separate. And how do you stay committed to credibility first then?
I think the examples are many around us, irrespective of the profession, whether it's the world of sports, whether it's the world of cinema, or even the world of business. Credibility has outlasted trends. They've outlasted, market crashes. They've outlasted, some of the most tumultuous periods. And we are bound to go through that as a society. History is not a thing of the past. History, on the contrary, is a precursor to what will happen in the future, because everything is so cyclical in nature. So the people I looked up to as an actor, even not just actors, there are sportsmen, there are politicians, there are leaders that I look up to. One common thing about them is that, they've stuck to their roots, they've stuck to their ground, and that again happens because of hindsight. When you sit back, say 10 years from now, and you realize, okay, this is what transpired because of so and so. And that conviction has to sort of come from within. That conviction has to come from within. So consistency is key. I am a huge admirer of Rahul Dravid. And another guy who, would just come and do his job, but his contribution would save, palpitations to all of us here. When he would bat, we knew that, okay, we'll be looked after. So similarly, I aspire to achieve that. I aspire to be that actor who's worth your time, who's worth your money, and who's also going to, by the end of it, tell your story. What was the first part of your question? I'm sorry, I slipped.
Committed to your credibility first, like, you know, you don't get carried away. That is what we.
Yeah, I mean, it's because history is proof. History is proof that quality will outlast, as I said, you know, everything. And if you're wanting to build a legacy brand, you know, there are going to be days, you know, there are going to be moments of nothingness actually. And when you talk about successes, I very strongly feel that, you know, successes are barely anything. I think it's the compounding effect of all your failures that define your success. You know, I was reading somewhere a few years ago, and when we talk about lights, when we talk about Thomas Edison, we talk about his contribution to the modern world or the world of science. He had more than 2,200 failed experiments. And he woke up every morning wanting to better his last failed experiment, and here we are with electricity. So you have to back yourself.
I know it was patience, and, you know, that stood by
Patience
him.
is
So
key.
it's again and again, yeah.
Yes, and there's nothing wrong. As I said earlier, you know, in the world of instant validation, you know, and also what the market tends to do is, you guys are businesswomen, you know better than me. You know, the scarcity mindset that is created in the world of consumerism, I think that is very deadly. You know, I kind of recognized it very early in life. So we should all have the abundance mindset. You know, there's enough space for everyone under the stars to enjoy, to live life. The moment you sort of create that scarcity mindset, you know, for example, in the world of consumerism, only 2 left, you know, out of stock, you know, only 2 hours left, only this. तो वो होता है, people fall for that, but I have also fallen for it, but I've sort of thankfully walked on to the other side. Yeah, so I think consistency is key. And lastly, I would want to sort of say, you know, that no matter where you come from, whether you're an insider or an outsider, you know, I get a lot of this thing, a lot of people tell me, आप outsider हो और आप इतने बड़े successful actor हो, आपको कैसा लगता है? You know, because I am right in the thick of it, yes, there is that degree of insider outsider. It's only up until access. No matter where you come from, if you're not good at what you do, you will be shown the door. And I think that is universal everywhere, across professions. So discipline is destiny. You can create your own destiny if you're disciplined with what you do, if you don't get swayed away, you know, especially during the downtime. You know, as I said, you know, those moments of spark or success are very far and few in between. It's largely the failures that are, you know, compounded over the years. So discipline is something which needs to be there, and you can shape your own destiny. I don't believe कि सब कुछ ऊपर वाले ने लिखा हुआ है. You know, I don't leave it to luck or chance. You know, if you go out there with the right intent, if you're honest and sincere, and karma is real. You know, I might be sounding like a spiritual guru right now, but let me tell you one thing. You know, you guys, most of you are senior to me. You've seen more life than me. But karma is actually real. It will come back and it will bite you at a place you really don't want it to. So, yeah, I think if you're a good person, if you're honest to yourself, and lastly, you know, Pratibha ji, if you can look at yourself in the mirror, if you can face your family, if you can, you know, sort of sleep peacefully, I think half your job is done. Yeah.
Very true, very true. So the next one is... So the next one is your 12th fail. That movie became a phenomenon, far beyond cinema, which inspired people from all walks of life, as you have told. Many people were inspired by this. Now, what personal lessons did you take away from that journey?
I was so lucky that I was a part of that film. Not many know that I was actually, you know, Vinod sir, Vidhu Vinod Chopra, who's the director, producer, writer of the film. You know, he was a little icky about casting me, because the first thing he told me is कि मैं theatrical film बनाना चाहता हूँ, पर तू तो OTT पे लोगों को free में मिलता है, तुझे कोई theater में देखने क्यों आएगा? And that was the brutal truth, which was so true. And I love him for his absolute honesty. And I said, sir, ek mauka do, shayad aaye dekhne ke liye. And I am so grateful to him, the audiences most importantly. That film ran in cinemas in the age of multiplexes for 8 months. It was one of the longest running Hindi movies, like I think post 2020, if I can say. And again, in hindsight, I feel why, because one of the reasons why you like the film, why most people here like the film, is because you didn't see the story of an IPS officer. Maybe at some point you started seeing your own self there. That was the universal nature of the story. I think somewhere down the line, all of us come from the same place. All of us hope every single day. All of us want to, somewhere down the line, leave behind something. And my biggest learning from that film, I spoke about it very briefly earlier, is that everything is very transient. Today when I have the access to Manoj Kumar Sharma and his wife Shraddha Joshi, there are days when we talk about it. He's the Inspector General for Law and Order, Maharashtra cadre, and he lives in Mumbai. So there are days we talk. And when he tells me, कि जब खाने के लिए रोटी नहीं थी, तब भी ये पता था कि यार ये टेम्परेरी है. तो उससे पेट तो नहीं भरता था, लेकिन उससे दुख थोड़ा कम होता था. आज जब इतना सक्सेस है, इतना नाम है, ये भी पता है कि ये भी टेम्परेरी है. तो ना ही ज़्यादा सक्सेस में रिजॉइस करना, ना ही दुख में ज़्यादा उदास होना. अगर आप माइंडफुल हो के आज माइंडफुलनेस की भी हम बहुत बात करते हैं, हम मेडिटेशन की बात करते हैं, योग की बात करते हैं, ये करना चाहिए. इट कीप्स यू अलाइंड. I think it's very important. So that is my biggest takeaway from 12th fail. That, yes, there is that lovely photograph with Madam President in my house, and every time I pass, I definitely stop and I look at it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. But there'll always be someone better who will come in, who will take a national award next year. There'll always be, there'll always be someone who will come and sort of better you. And so I'm lucky that I got my moment under the sun at that time. But the idea is to just keep it simple. In the world of acting, they say less is more. Less is more. It's very, very important. And और मेरे को ये पता नहीं था कि less is more का मतलब क्या है. And then one of my directors told me, that theatre and cinema, they are two very different mediums. Cinema has lenses which can actually go right into your eye, into your pupil, into your iris. It can really go inside. So that is why less is more. You don't need to project. You need to be simple. You need to know. People, most audiences actually they don't want to see how you act. They want to see how you felt. And that changed the way I acted as well. So a few takeaways from 12th fail. And there's still a lot to learn. And there's so much more to learn. My career's just begun. I'm just 38. There's a long, long way to go.
As you said, now you're at the 71st National Film Awards, being recognized with the Best Actor for 12th Fail for portraying Manoj Kumar Sharma alongside a superstar like Shah Rukh Khan marked an extraordinary moment for you. And as you reflect on that milestone, how did you feel? And what sense of responsibility did it bring in you?
I'd want to begin with the latter part, the responsibility. It's a privilege to be sitting on this dais. It is a big responsibility. There's no doubt about it, because the audiences, the people have entrusted me with. With great power comes great responsibility. ये Dark Knight का एक dialogue है. With great power comes great responsibility. So I recognize that there definitely is that sense of responsibility, but the idea is to find the sweet spot in between. The idea is to, yes, go out there and represent the common man, the common people of our country, but also not stifle myself as an actor, because primarily I'm an actor. I also want to go out there and, not all my films can be 12th fail. Not all my films can sound like public service announcements, right? I also have to go out there and do a mindless comedy someday, because I want to explore myself as an actor. I want to do that. So the idea is to find that sweet spot. But not just with the national award, and I'm being very honest, had I not won the national award, this responsibility reflected onto, or sort of I felt that sense of responsibility when, for one of the screenings, I'll keep it very brief, for one of the screenings of 12th Fail, I would always walk into the last 15 minutes, जब वो interview शुरू होता है, and every theatre I would visit, they would keep 2 seats, the last row end seats right next to the exit for me. And I would quietly wear a cap and I would walk in and I would sit because, people are really engrossed in the movie. They're right into the thick of it. The interview has just begun and that is what they waited for nearly 2 hours. There was an elderly man who was sitting next to me on one of the screenings. I don't exactly remember where. I think it was New Delhi. And he was sitting right next to me. The entire interview happened when Manoj Kumar Sharma gets selected. When my character falls on the knees, when he becomes an IPS officer, he started weeping. And he literally started weeping that his chest was shaking. You could really he was weeping his heart out. And all throughout the film, nobody was sitting next to him. And suddenly and it was really dark, and he suddenly saw that someone was sitting next to him. He just grabbed my hand. And he clutched my hand. I could feel his nails on my forearm. And he wept and he wept and he wept. And when the house lights came on, he got a little conscious. He removed his handkerchief and he started wiping his face. And while he was getting up is when he saw me and he's like, "Oh my God." And I just told him, "Aap theek hai?" And he hugged me again. And he started crying again. And because of that, a lot of people in and around us realized that I was in the hall. My idea was to actually leave. Just before the end credits, I would always leave, but he'd held my hand and I just didn't feel like, sort of letting his hand go. And there were people in that hall from 8 to 80 who came up to me, they hugged me, they blessed me. There were so many elderly grandmothers who came up to me and they wished me. That is when I realized that, okay, I've done something which is going to last. And cinema and the world of storytelling or any art form, it outlives you. I will be gone, at some point. But, you can watch my movies even 50 years or 100 years from now. And that is the power of art. That is the power of art, and movie making is a very young, in comparison to all art forms, whether it is poetry, whether it is painting, whether it is literature. Movie making is a very young extension of that art form. And some of the greatest revolutions, some of the greatest inspirations have come through art forms. अगर हम हमारे देश की ही बात करें, जब 1947 में हमको आज़ादी मिली, लेकिन लेट 1800 से अर्ली 1900 से जब प्रिंटिंग प्रेस नया शुरू हुआ था, तो मोबिलाइज कैसे करते थे लोगों को? There used to be street plays at that time. There used to be theatre at that time. That mobilized an entire country to stand for what was rightfully theirs. So cinema has always had that power. And I hope I continue to tell that story. I hope I continue to sort of inspire that gentleman and all the grandmothers I met in that hall. And that is when I realized, okay, so this is much more than acting. It's not just going out there, sort of signing autographs or clicking selfies with people. It's about being their voice. It's about being the voice for the voiceless. And yeah, and concomitantly, if you get an opportunity to click a few selfies, why not? But the idea is to be the voice for the common man. Yeah,
very true. So I think, the audience is so connected to the film. Yeah. So while awards, applause, and recognition can be very powerful at that point of time, and so what is that you want your work to stand for? Like as you said, for your, you want to be known for your acting skills, the movies, the work that you do. What is that you are very, very close to that would like to stay back up? As far as I know, you've already said.
Yeah,
that
I think
you've
I've already
yeah,
spoken
yeah,
about this. Yeah, I just want to be recognized uh, as a person who tried, as not just as an actor, even as a friend to some, as a father or as a husband or as as an acquaintance. The idea is to leave behind a better world, and I'll probably just switch from acting. I very strongly believe in one thing, and I always say this wherever I go. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share this. That I very briefly spoke about this earlier as well. That we are all going to go. The only certainty that we have today, at this point in time, we don't know what will happen at 7 p.m. or where we will be, what we'll be wearing, what we'll be eating, drinking. But one thing we all know is that we are all going to go. How do we leave behind a better world? That is something that really, really motivates me. There are moments when I'm lying down by myself, that wo sone ke pehle, before you go to bed, those 5 minutes when your phone is away from you, your child has slept off, you're not being a father, you're not being a husband, you're not being a son, you're not being an actor, you're not being a producer, you're just yourself. That is when I tell myself, what more can I do to leave behind a better world? So that is what motivates me. That reflects in my conduct in front of the camera. That reflects probably in my conduct even behind the camera. So that is one driving force that really pushes me to better myself every day. And yeah, that's one thing.
Lovely. So next one is, careers don't always move in straight lines. When did you begin to feel secure in your own journey? Like, this is exactly what I want to do and this is where I want to be. So what was that moment that made you feel like this is, what I will do all my lifetime? Or you still are looking at what more you want to get into?
Of course. Pratibhaji, you're definitely looking at what more you can do, how you can better yourself. That's, as I said, that's an ongoing journey, and I hope that never stops. The moment I get stagnant or complacent, or if I start believing कि अरे यार चलो मेरे को तो national award मिल गया है, मैं famous हो गया हूँ, that'll be the beginning of the end.
So next you want to go into something else, maybe direction or something, or
of course. No,
yeah.
I will continue acting.
Sure.
There are so many stories that I want to say. I will continue acting. I'm also producing.
Lovely.
Hopefully I will direct a movie someday. But the idea is to be consistent, as I said. Sorry, what was the last part of your question?
Yes, what's one thing about success you wish you had understood earlier? ऐसा आपको लगता है कभी?
See, success again,
ऐसा आपको
we like most trends, the definition of success has also changed. Do you agree with me or you don't? And it keeps changing, and it will continue to change. And when I started off, I wanted to make 1 lakh rupee a month, because my friends were making that money. My older brother's friends, they were working in the BPO industry. They were in call centers, and they were group leaders and team leaders, and they would make 1 lakh rupee a month. And my idea was, yaar, 1 lakh rupee mujhe bhi kamane hai. That figure of 1 lakh. And then we spoke about the house and this and that. So the definition of success has changed. And it's very important that we all adapt to changing times. We are so quick at upgrading or updating our mobile software, but we sometimes forget updating our own selves. When my parents were young, when they had 2 young boys, all they wanted was to feed them good, healthy food, make sure that they are given a decent education, they are made independent enough to stand on their own feet. And God has really blessed us. There is much more than that 1 lakh rupee that we have today. The success of definition has changed. For me today, if I am able to inspire you, if I am able to be your voice, or if you can go out there because of 12th fail, like the 30 kids I spoke of, if you feel that, what, मैं भी जाके IAS बन सकता हूँ या IPS बन सकता हूँ, that is success for me. A good health, most importantly. Good health is success. Today, the healthcare industry is worth billions and billions and billions of dollars for a reason. आप कुछ भी पहन लो, आप कुछ भी possess कर लो, the moment you are unwell, the moment your health is not supporting your aspirations or your dreams, what is the point of having all those things? If you're not able to sleep sound, if you're not able to face yourself with all honesty and integrity, what is the point? पैसा आपने कमा लिया है, और हमारी फील्ड में ऐसे बहुत से लोग हैं प्रतिभा जी, एक बार बता देता हूँ, पैसा बहुत है उनके पास, पर वो अपना मुंह छुपा के जाते हैं क्योंकि they owe a lot of people money. They sit in cars worth crores and crores, and they live in mansions. You know, they have 20 people to, one to take care of their shoes, one to take care of their sock. But the moment they step out of the house, they're not able to meet people they've previously worked with because they still owe them money. What is the point of that success? So when you can face yourself, when you can sleep sound, when you can, when you can do these little things, when your health is good, when you're not ashamed to face anyone, that is also success, So yeah, it keeps changing from time to time. And yeah, and I hope I continue to sort of adapt with changing times. If there are, I don't know what will happen 20 years from now. When my son is grown up and he goes to college, I will have to adapt myself to, the new normal at that point in time. So yeah, so and lastly, I think there is a long way to go. And there was no one moment that I actually realized, oh, you know what, this is what success is, or this is the mantra for success. There is no mantra for success. Trial and error is the only way, and unless and until you've done it yourself or you've learned from some other person's experience, you won't figure it out. So I was lucky with Balika Vadhu also, People, the whole country used to watch that show. The Honorable Parliament of India, I remember this very, very clearly. The late Sushma Swaraj ji was Women and Child Affairs Minister at that time. She spoke of Balika Vadhu in the Parliament. And I am so proud to say this thing on record that Marathi में और हिंदी में हम सब ने देखा है बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ. मराठी में कहते हैं मुलगी शिकली प्रगति झाली. This women empowerment campaign collectively actually somewhere down the line comes from Balika Vadhu, and she spoke of it in the parliament. So that is the tremendous impact. So I felt great at that time. I felt great after 12th fail. I felt great after sector 36. But वो momentarily, sporadically होता है वो. वो plateau कभी नहीं हो सकता, और वो होना भी नहीं चाहिए plateau कभी भी.
You're so sincere in your answers. I really
Thanks.
appreciate. You've been very thoughtful and selective about your roles. You choose to do the unconventional. What we don't, you really can't expect. And you take complex, risk-taking characters over safe ones. Each of your roles, like if you've seen, they're like a fresh beginning. Be it your mild-mannered, emotionally fragile husband in Dilruba, Hasi Dilruba, or a meticulous expert in forensic, or a compassionate journalist in Chapak. Do you consciously look at every film as a restart? How do you maintain authenticity across such diverse roles?
Part of the answer is in your question itself. Where I come from, I hate using this word but for better understanding for all of us. I think as an outsider, I hate this word. As an outsider, there are very few and far between opportunities. So I don't have an uncle ready to produce a movie for me. I have to go out there and I have to work like it's my first time and the last time. And also a lot of it comes from natural selection. I think all of us have our own natural selection. As animals, we are all animals, right? So as animals, we all are drawn to certain things for various reasons. And I like complex storytelling. I don't see life as black and white, because life is definitely not black and white. Most of us are trading within the grays most of us actually are treading mostly within the grace of life. So I want to reflect that in the storytelling, or the complexity of relationships or life itself. And as an actor, I really want to challenge myself. You know, as you must have heard in the introduction, that yes, I'm a trained dancer. I used to work with Shamak Davar, but I have never done those dance numbers in movies because I just don't feel the need to. I want to sort of take a step forward and sort of do the unconventional. That is my natural selection. So the movies that you spoke of, they are a part of that because they make me feel alive. You know, I don't want to do the mundane, simple, placid characters because it again would feel like going back to TV days. You know, then I would have to probably switch to another profession. So characters that keep me alive, that sort of really require me to sort of learn also at the same time, unlearn and learn and showcase my skill sets. So it's an amalgamation of a lot of things coming together. Because when you're making a movie, Pratibhaji, it's not just the actor. You know, I very strongly feel that actors को ना बहुत ज़्यादा undue credit दिया जाता है. That's the right word. And that is true. I'm an actor myself. And most of my friends, they're like, अरे क्या बात कर रहा है? But that is true. There are more than 200 people involved in making that one film. Of course, you're the face of it. Of course, the audiences pay money, their hard-earned money, and they shell out their time to come and see you, or the actress, or the director also sometimes. You know, today there are directors who are far bigger than actors. But it's not just one person's contribution, it's more than 200 people who come in together. So sometimes it's their mind, sometimes it's their vision, and you're lucky enough to be a part of their vision. So yeah, it's a lot of permutation and
Power
combination.
of coming together that makes the whole thing. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I think we were just announcing. The flow power also, I was saying, when all the women come together, that is when we make flow so special. I mean, that's the spirit of flow where we achieve so much. When we are all together, that makes the difference.
And trust.
And even the biggest things, you know, you can just do it like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And trust is something which is so important, right? Like when we make a movie, you know, somebody is coming from Hyderabad, somebody is coming from Goa, someone's from Delhi, someone's from Bombay. You know, all of you come together and you're just wanting to make or have a good experience and make one good film, and then you disperse and you're busy in your own lives and you meet some new people again. So for that interim period when you are together, that trust factor has to be there, and we have to learn to surrender. You know, we definitely have to learn to surrender, and that is where magic happens. And sometimes when magic does not happen, you take it as a learning experience and you move forward. Yeah.
That was, I was just going to ask. Sometimes if you just miss out on a movie that you really want to do, or maybe you wouldn't have given time, and if you lose it, how do you take it? You take it seriously, you're like, okay, fine. अरे यार मिस हो गया.
नहीं ऐसे मुझे नहीं होता प्रतिभा जी. I am not that person. You know, एक तो I am someone who takes a lot of time in deciding. And whatever I have decided, either or, I stand by it. And I have to stand by it, because then I am in so many ways, whether I accept a film or whether I refuse a film, I am belittling my own gut instinct, you know, the voice within. So I have to respect that voice within. So if that film didn't work, अचानक से I can't feel कि अरे यार ये बहुत बुरी film थी. No, I did it because I felt it was a good film. It ended up becoming a bad film for various reasons, but I have to back my decision, you know. And I think we should do that, you know, not shy away from something that didn't work out. You know, it's equally important. You know, जितना हम praise और success को accept करते हैं, उतना ही हमें failure और missteps को भी accept करना ज़रूरी है. You know, we talk about constantly learning, but we also need to constantly unlearn. You know.
Life is a journey.
Yeah.
So who has been your strongest influence or your mentor?
In life, it's been my mother, of course. You know, I'm a typical mama's boy. How to just be or what not to be is also because of her. But professionally, you know, how I conduct myself on and off the camera, or my belief in consistency, or, you know, it comes from Rahul Dravid. Though he has nothing to do with cinema, but I think he's someone who's had a tremendous impact on me. And even when he was the coach, this silent dignity that he has always conducted himself with has sort of really inspired me. And yeah, as you said, in the world of social media, sorry, someone was saying something? Oh, sorry. His wife? My wife, of course, but वो तो अभी मुझे 12 साल पहले मिली हैं. I think, Rahul Dravid and my mother, they are far more influential in my character building than my wife is, Then I would say my wife after them, after them. So, yeah.
But I don't know how Rahul Dravid and you, I mean, he's a cricketer, you're an actor, and what's the connection?
I think it's
It's like Dronacharya?
no,
Or seriously?
No. I think, Harsha Bhogle or somebody had said that he's someone who's willing to walk on, glass shells for the team. He's willing, and glass shells bare feet for the team. And we've seen that. We've seen him go out there, just the wall. He's called the wall for a reason. And just a few minutes earlier, you said that, you're a safe haven for actors, or that's what people say. I hope that's true. I want to be that wall for my directors, for my writers and my producers. I want to be someone they can rely on. And I don't mind walking on, glass shells for those 200 people who are working on my film. That's probably one of the reasons why I want to be like him. I aspire to be like him.
Every experience changes us as a person, and we evolve over time. So after so many years in the industry and so many milestones under your belt, where do you see yourself going from here? Like you said, what's your next?
Where do I see myself? I think sticking to my basics. I think there are not a lot of changes which I would want to sort of inculcate in how I operate as an actor. Sticking to the basics is very, very important, which is perform, which is to sort of make you feel what my characters are feeling at that point in time. And yeah, and also experiment, to keep, as I said earlier, I want to go out there and do a comedy someday, because most people actually see me as this bichara, nice boy next door. There's so much more than, you guys should go and watch Sector 36. I don't know how many of you have seen it. You should go watch that. That was another film which I just did because, most people were telling me ki, अच्छा अभी 12th fail के बाद आप क्या कर रहे हो? आप, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do something different.
I know that was again totally a different, where you were a serial killer.
Yeah, so the idea is to experiment. The idea is to also stick to the basics, find the right balance, I think I'm not too sure what that is, but, somewhere along the way, I think I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I have a small rapid fire for you.
Lovely. I am horrible at this. And thank God this is not a televised show. Otherwise, most of my answers would have gone viral.
So what's one quirky habit you have before going on set?
Before going on set, I pray a lot. I think even in between takes, I'm constantly praying. I'm constantly sort of, yeah. So people think it's weird because people who don't know that I'm praying, they look at me and they're like, ये अपने आप से क्यों बात कर रहा है? और होता है वो because I'm mumbling, I'm saying stuff, I'm looking up at the sky, I shut my eyes and I'm looking at the sun. I'm like, okay, this, I'm doing my stuff, and then I think he's a little cuckoo in the head.
Early morning or late night?
Early morning.
One indulgence you don't feel guilty about anymore?
One indulgence. No, I've been asked to start feeling guilty about it. I think I'm too much into fragrances.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm spending a lot of money and my wife is very, very upset about it.
So one film, but not yours, that you wish more people had watched?
I think Homebound. I think a lot of people should have seen that film. Yes.
Yeah. So what was your first reaction when you won the national award?
I was in South America. I was in Colombia at that time when it was announced. And we have 11.5 hour gap. So I actually got a call at 4 a.m. Columbia time. And when I was told that, okay, you know, they are announcing the national awards now, I think you should get up. Because we were anticipating, to be honest, you know, because in the media, prior to the national awards, a lot of journalists, they sort of broached this question, and that's when that seed was sort of sowed in my head that, okay, national awards ke liye achhi contender hain hum. And, you know, me, Vinod sir, the film, the editor, you know, the cameraman. So when they told me, they are announcing the national awards in 30 minutes, get up, is when I got up, when I called home, I told my mom and my wife, okay, switch on the TV. And when I won the national award, I was very, very elated. I was very happy. It's been my childhood dream, to be honest. When I started off, even at the age of 16, doing television, I wanted to win the national award. And yeah, there are so many more things.
You had your goal very clear at that age.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah, and it's not just the award, you know, I think it's the respect that is concomitant with winning the national award, or even the respect that you guys have bestowed upon me. You know, this is what makes me happy. You know, yeah.
So which co-star has made you laugh the most on set?
Yami Gautam.
Okay.
She's very funny, guys. She's very funny.
Okay. If you could relive one day from your career, which would it be?
Relive?
Relive.
From my career. Yeah. I would really want to go back and meet that, you know, 16-year-old Vikrant. Yeah. I remember the date. It was 19th of December 2004. 19th of December 2004. Yeah.
Wow. Silence or validation, which has taught you more?
I think both. As an actor, it's important that you're validated for your work, but then what path are you willing to take for that validation is something which is very, very important for me.
And what something success did not change about you?
I think that's for other people to answer. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, success has not changed about me. Thank you so much. That is so generous of you. Thank you. Still a mama's boy. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I think everyone is telling those answers now. So now this is one question I always ask every speaker. So if you could give one piece of advice to women who are building patiently, honestly, and without shortcuts, but sometimes wonder if it's worth it, what would you tell them? And what advice would you give to a woman who's putting in all the right efforts but feels unseen at the moment?
You know, firstly, I must really sort of congratulate Fiki, Hyderabad especially, and all the wonderful women here. You guys are actually an inspiration. And you must definitely, you know, give your own self a huge round of applause. That you guys are here, you guys are doing such tremendous work, not just for yourselves, even for the people you are employing, even for those people you're empowering them and not just yourself. It is so refreshing. Now, having said that, I would also want to sort of acknowledge this bitter truth that not a lot of women are in your position today. Unfortunately, there are nooks and crannies in our country where women are still in the kitchen, are bearing kids, are not able to forget dreaming, not able to even express themselves in their own homes. So great stuff, you know. This is really, really inspiring, and I'm definitely taking a lot of wonderful things from here today, which will stay with me for really, really long. But coming back to your question, as I said earlier, you know, I think it is those moments of nothingness actually. If you can hold yourself then, if you can just back yourself then, you know, especially when the going is getting tough, when there are no results, when you feel unseen, when you feel marginalized, that is when you actually need to sort of hold your things together. And success aana hai if you are consistent with what you do. You have to be consistent, you have to be sincere. And as I said earlier, most of you are far older than me. You have far more life experience than me. You know, I'm feeling a little shy and sort of advising you what to do. You know, maybe it should be the other way around. Yeah, the idea is to just hold on. And as I said earlier, you know, a part of this question I've answered earlier, that we are all going to go. The idea is to be kind. The idea is to be nice. You know, it is so weird, Pratibhaji, sometimes it is so weird that, you know, when we meet a nice person, we go back home and we share it with the family that, you know what, yeah, I met a very nice person today. You know, he's so kind, he's so generous. It is also reflective of the unfortunate travesty of our times. We are all advised and taught by our elders to be nice, to be honest, to be sincere. Why has it become a rarity? Why helping someone cross the road or why helping someone with a glass of water is such a rarity? That is in our DNA. That is what we are actually supposed to be. But unfortunately, Kalyuga, this is the time. So be kind to each other. Be kind. You know, I think I journal a lot and I'm very proud of this one quote which I have written, you know, and I also aspire to have a book written on my life someday. But usme bahut time hai. And I just thought aloud and my hands were automatically moving. You know, I'm very shy at sort of self-praising especially. But this is one thing which I will share with you guys. There is no greater plan. There is no greater plan than gratitude. If you have gratitude in your heart, apne aap rasta banega. Apne aap. You will be shocked at the power of gratitude for whatever you have, for whatever little you have. You will be shocked. There will come a moment in your life, and I can give this to you in writing, that you will look back and you will probably not have the answers or even have any memory of how you have reached where you have reached. Just be kind, you know, be full of gratitude for whatever you have. Apne aap rasta banega.
You're a wonderful human being. I really have to appreciate. I mean, you spoke your heart, and it really touched every one of us. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being so patient. Thank you. Sure, of course. Yes, please. Can we have the mic?
The long game of resilience and purpose. The entire story reflected a very nice human being. You talked about those 100 women, thousands and millions of women in India today who dare to dream. You felt that. What do you think, out of the character of a human being and a successful actor, how are you going to influence these women? Do you think you're really going to be going out there and being able to inspire those women? You spoke with a lot of grit and determination, and that is something that caught my attention, that you think that there are so many women today in India who dare to dream. Do you really want to be able to inspire them, and do you have anything in plans like that?
Of course. In fact, it's not something that I plan to do. It is something that I have been doing for quite some time. I have worked with, if you actually go back to my filmography, ma'am, you will see I've worked with more women directors than men directors. And in the last 12 years of Hindi cinema, you know, television is a different ball game altogether. That is one way that I can contribute. That is one way that I can sort of, I'm an actor, you know, I can't, and I don't mean to sort of, you know, this is not specifically for your question, but generally, you know, I can't play a woman in front of the camera because biologically I'm a guy, but you know, I can do within my limited capacity. So I've done movies like Lipstick Under My Burqa. I've done movies like Dolly Kitty Ke Chamakte Sitare. I've done a cameo in a show like Made in Heaven. So I try doing whatever I can within my limited capacity. And also I would not want to sort of be myopic and narrow it down to just women. You know, yes, I spoke of women. Yes, unfortunately there are women. But there are also men like Manoj Kumar Sharma who need to be heard. There are also women like the women we saw in Lipstick Under My Burqa who need to be heard. So I have been doing that. I aspire to do that. I want to continue doing that. I am a young producer myself. You know, there are a few movies that I am producing in this year. And one of them is written and going to be directed by a very young, extremely talented woman. Most of my film sets, and it's not because of me, that's the mandate actually. In Bollywood especially, and some of the best companies you go to Red Chillies, you go to Dharma, there is a mandate that at least 40% of your employees have to be women. Whether they are interns or whether they specialize in whatever department, or whether they are HODs. I aspire to sort of follow that, that operational value in my own production house. So...
Mr. Vikrant, my question, I think we got a little confused. My question here was not in the capacity of as an actor to inspire people through acting. Do you see yourself in the next couple of years being an inspiration out of your comfort zone of as an actor, as a human being, to go out to students, to go out to people, go out to women who want to, and give them the story of resilience and purpose? Or is it only through the media of acting that you think you will be able to impact the masses?
Sorry, I probably definitely got your question wrong. See, at this moment, it is definitely through my limited capacity, which is acting and producing. I would definitely want to do much, much more, but I think I need to sort of build a much stronger foundation myself so that I can sort of go out there and support more people in the world of education. And I definitely don't want to just sort of talk about men and women. In the world of education, I am doing my limited bit. I'm supporting kids to study who come from challenged backgrounds, and I don't even know उसमें लड़के कितने हैं लड़कियां कितनी हैं. The idea is to just go out there and do my little bit, but currently I only see it through acting, through production, through moments like these, through live interactions with people, and that's the plan as of now. Yes.
Hi, can I?
Yes, please.
Fantastic session, and you're coming across as a very wonderful soul.
Thank you.
I deserve it as hit a chord. I think the way you started that, I deserved it, and we could see the whole graph of yours going in that direction, kinds, and it's a well-planned, I think it's a learning thing. And even our age that we learn that when we have this lulls in our lives, and you need to say this to yourself, I deserve it, kinds. So it was fantastic.
Thank you.
And your quotes are outbeating. I mean, I've written down so many of the quotes that you were saying all through. I think you're a great reader.
I think मैं मतलब मेरी किताब पढ़ेंगे आप.
बिल्कुल लग रहा है आप you are on that way. But yeah, since I have to ask a question now, which one movie that you think you should have been a part of it, kinds like anything, not even just Indian. But,
one movie I should have been a part of. If I was sort of slightly older, I always answer this. I would have loved to be a part of Lagan. I would have loved to play Bhuvan's character from Lagan. It serves two purposes actually, because I love cricket. I would have got an opportunity to play a lot of cricket and also be a part of this phenomenal story which is so Indian in nature. It's a truly Indian story,
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Hi.
Sorry.
Hi. Great fan of yours.
Thank you.
My daughter is in class 12 and I'm asking her to watch the 12th fail. She's asking me why. It's an inspiring movie.
सिर्फ 15 मिनट दिखा दो आप. I'm sure उसके आगे वो देख लेंगे एक बार.
Okay, so like you were telling, you want to explore with different kind of roles, and if given a chance like to choose in Dhurandhar movie, which role would you take? Ranbir or Salman Dakat?
Honestly, I was just having a chat with one of my teammates. I haven't had the chance to watch Dhurandhar yet.
Oh.
I haven't. In fact, it's a shame that Yami and Aditya both are very dear friends. I even spoke to them. I have just arrived yesterday, and here I am today, and I am shooting again in Mumbai tomorrow. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll find the time. Yeah, and that film is going to stay in theaters. It's doing really, really well. So I'll go and I'll watch it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
Your innocent smile reflects a sense of calm and humility. How do you protect that simplicity in you, working in such a competitive industry?
Thank you. I think it's my family. and I always tell this thing, and we didn't speak about this thing, that your roots, the roots that I was talking about, the ones you will go back home to, that is what matters the most to me. And that is what matters to people I look up to, even like Rahul Dravid, Absolutely. And he said this in so many interviews. He's like, and I know at some point I will retire. At some point, all the cameras will stop clicking me. What is most important is, my safe haven is my house. The people I'm going to sort of, wake up with every day, share food with every day. So I think it's my family that keeps me grounded. I'm lucky enough to still have my parents' blessings. My parents stay with me. It's my wife is with me. To always surround yourself with the right people is very, very important. And unfortunately, in the world of cinema, as an actor, as a popular public figure, I think there are so many people who just want to be around you for ulterior motives. And the idea is to be strong enough to be able to say, no, this is not what I want. And as I said, everything is very transient. The people you will grow up with or spend the rest of your life with, that ecosystem has to be robust enough to sort of look at you in the face and tell you the truth. None of my family members have ever, and I'm so proud of this, they've ever sort of mollycoddled me or they've sort of, tried to sort of pacify me because it will make me feel better. They will tell me the bitter truth then. I will feel horrible then, or maybe for like one long week. But in hindsight, I realized they are the actual well-wishers. They are not yes men. They are not yes people. And it's very important to have such people who have the courage to tell you the truth on your face. And whether it is your employee, whether it is your family, if you want to surround yourself with yes men, then, it's your choice. But if you want to sustain, if you want to build a lasting legacy, then you really need to have the heart within or the chin to sort of take those jabs which are far more beneficial for you. And I think, so whatever you... Thank you. So whatever you said, I think it comes from the family. And a few friends, of course, Yeah.
So Vikrant, on behalf of everyone here, I want to wish something for you.
Please.
I want to wish that a movie is made on Rahul Dravid's life and you are the one and only choice of the director.
I hope so. But they have to be really quick. I'm getting older. They have to be really, really quick about this. Thank you.
Hello, Vikrant sir. I'm here.
Oh, hi.
Hi. So it was an absolute honor and inspiration to hear you out today.
So kind of you.
But me also being a mom of 2 boys, so I'm curious to know one thing.
Oh my God, sorry, I'm cutting you. Please tell me, is it crazier with 2 boys?
3 boys actually. My husband is also one little boy only, I can say.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a roller coaster ride and I'm enjoying it.
But many congratulations.
Thank you. So my absolute curiosity right from the start was to know, how did you identify yourself at a very early age that this is the career which is meant for you?
Actually, it was not me. It was actually not me, to be honest. Middle class, मैंने बहुत बोल दिया, ठीक है? That sob story is over now. That middle class. But वो सच है, when relatives and parents' friends would come home, I had the typical household. जब कोई uncle आए, कोई auntie आए, तो बेटा uncle आए ज़रा dance करके दिखाओ. That actually used to happen with me. And my interest sort of picked up because of that. And that thing also sort of translated in school. So whenever there would be, 15th August or 26th January or any annual day function, they would tell me, "Chalo Vikrant, go and dance on the stage." And that's how it actually started. And I remember very clearly in class 9, the year before my board exams, my principal, Reverend Father Anil Rego, I come from a convent school, he called my mother and he said, he can do much better in studies, but he's very good in extracurricular activities, in, dancing, in sports. So, you should definitely, as he's going to pass school, he'll, go to college, you should sort of encourage him to get into that. That is what actually sort of pushed me. And also, and see, it is so coincidental, Pratibhaji, that I come from an area in Mumbai. I don't know how many of you are well versed with Mumbai. I come from an area called Andheri Versova, right? So उसको ना अंधेरी वर्सोवा को इंडिया का हॉलीवुड कहते हैं, इंडिया का LA कहते हैं, because all the production houses are there, all the shootings that actually happen in Mumbai happen there. So I used to be one of those kids with my older brother. Whenever there would be a shooting in and around our vicinity, I would be one of those kids standing in the crowd watching Jackie Shroff, Anil Kapoor, Sanjay Dutt, all these people, you know, shoot there. And I was always fascinated with these lights. So the largest light that we use is called an HMI. It is called a halogen metal iodide. So they were so sharp and so big, and I was very fascinated by, those people wearing walkie-talkies, using a mic, and you had, all these people with scripts and writing pads and running from one end to the other, and I would be really sort of enticed with that world, and maybe those experiences and, my occasional dances and this and that, they sort of catapulted me towards this direction. And and in college, by college, I knew this is what I had to do. Yeah.
Vikrant,
Hi.
you're very handsome.
Thank you.
So, do you get compliments like you resemble Hrithik Roshan?
I used to. I really used to. A lot. When I was far younger, I mean, talking about school. And yeah, but it's been a while I've heard that. So thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi here. Good evening.
Hi.
This is Gayatri. Yeah, again, when I want to compliment, you're looking very handsome today.
Thank you.
We are Hyderabad.
I think the credit goes to my hair and makeup team.
Oh,
They're
okay.
sitting right here.
It's for all Hyderabad flow team are really flabbergasted by your handsomeness, your
Thank
humbleness, and the way you're speaking so nicely, so sweetly.
Thank you.
And my question was the simple rumors like what have been going around that you're planning to retire so young.
Wow. No,
right?
No, not at all.
You're going to be here for long, right?
Yes. As I said, my career has only just begun. This thing came out in 2024 November, if I'm not wrong. This rumor. Actually, it was not a rumor. I think it was misread by a lot of people. I was the one who actually put out a tweet and an Instagram post saying that, I'm going to work on 2 films which I've signed, and then I'll probably work again. But that was kind of misconstrued.
Some frustration with the movies or?
No. I think God's been kind, so no frustration as of now. But the idea was, God's been actually, on the contrary, been very kind. I felt a physical, emotional burnout. I did nearly 5 films in a span of 1.5 years. And my son was born in 2024 in the month of February. And, Sabarmati Report was another film which was very widely received across the country. I had the opportunity to sit with the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, and watch my film. And that is when I felt that, okay, you know what, I really need to sort of, if I really want to better myself as an actor, I should go back to the drawing board. Firstly, rest it out because I would hardly sleep. And most importantly, because my son was born, I felt, and I've said this again and again, it's transient. I know this right at the back of my head. When he started walking, I was not there. When he started saying Papa, I was not there. When his first tooth broke out, I was not there. And such miserable, it was so miserable that, you are sitting with the Honorable Prime Minister of the country. People are talking about you left, right and center, and, everyone wants to have a piece of you. But there is this big void within you that you want to go back home and see all these things. That is the reason I took the break. But
all
now
the best. See you on more.
Thank you. Now he's grown up. Now he talks a lot. Now I can't wait to leave the house.
Thank you, Vikrant, for being so candid with us
Thank you.
throughout the questions. That's all the time that we have today. Sorry, audience. May I now request Senior Vice Chairperson, Ms. Sita Reddy, to deliver the vote of thanks.
So we wish you good luck for your production house soon.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Namaste. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Wiki Flow Hyderabad, Our heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Vikrant for joining us today and for sharing your journey with such authenticity. Your reflections on resilience and staying grounded deeply resonated with us, reminding us that true success is built with quietly through consistency. And those lessons will stay with us long after today. So today, when you're in the Telugu state, I would like to say one word, like, we always say, like, entete edigina odigi undali. And that means, like, I've been sitting there and every word of yours is truth, that, with more and more success, you have to be more and more grounded. A heartfelt thank you to our chairperson, Ms. Pratibha Kunda, for bringing this session today. We also thank our chairpersons for their continued guidance and support. We sincerely thank our sponsors for their generous support and making this event possible. Premium Platinum sponsor, Swastik Spices. Gold sponsor, Southern Spices. Initiative sponsors, Priya Gold and Vasundhara Buildex. Special thanks to our Business League participants and also to our events team for this seamless execution of today's event. Our gratitude goes to Daspalla for their warm hospitality and also to press and media present today. And finally, my sincere thanks to each and everyone here today. Your presence, your engagement and enthusiasm and immense value gives immense value to our every flow event. As we conclude today, let us carry forward these insights and inspirations we gained today and continue to move ahead with clarity and purpose. Thank you once again. Please join us for high tea.